What's up, guys? It's Flopping Groper here with a banger video for you guys. Today we're going to talk about the simple moving average. I was called to make a tweet this morning talking about the simple moving average, tips that I always give on it that nobody else teaches. One, pick one and stick with it. Number two, use a fixed moving average. I'm going to teach you how to do that in this video. Number three is you have to trust that slope. The whole point of a moving average is to cut out the noise and see what the real trend is. And so if you're trading against the trend, why are you using the moving average to begin with? And number four is to anticipate data dropping from the set and how that affects not only the moving average, but the price action. So, we are on the charts here. And first, I'm going to enable my Leapfrog V2 here. So this is the indicator that I made that has a baked in fixed 5-day simple moving average. These are my settings here. Seems like strange settings, but there are 1,440 5-minute candles in 5 days. And so this creates a very smooth 5-day fixed moving average. And so I use this along with the anchored VWAPs to provide trade setups in my Discord. You can see here that here was a great short in an established downtrend that I posted in my Discord a couple days ago. Stop loss behind the monthly anchor, target previous monthly anchor. And you can see how that pretty much with no drawdown goes down there and hits a couple TPs. Obviously, we would have had to exit that trade eventually, but no drawdown and just trusting that downtrend to bring you down a little bit more there. So that was a good one. We also had another nice fire short here off that monthly anchor when it did come back up because the 5-day simple was still kind of sideways. And so all my trades in this VIP, you can see how that one played out. We did come down there. We're also still in this short too, but you can see how all my plays are going to be based around this 5-day simple moving average line. So the first point I was trying to make on this Twitter post, pick one and stick with it. That's really important. Number two is to use a fixed moving average. So how do you even get that on your chart if you don't have my indicator? You can actually get it on your chart for free. So go to your indicator library here and search moving average simple. Make sure you star this indicator, add it to your little list. And the first thing you'll notice is that this is not a fixed moving average. So if I go to different time frames here, this line's going to change position. See 98,000, 94,000. You see how this is not a fixed moving average. So you want to go into the settings here. And, at first, if you wanted to create a 5-day simple, you would think that, you come in here and you say, okay, I'll do 1 day for the time frame source, and I'll make the length 5 for a 5-day SMA. But the problem with that is that this creates a very jagged line, and it also doesn't update to the most recent candle data because it's going off that daily candle data. And so we need a 5-day simple moving average that goes off of smaller candle data. And so that's where I evolved to create the 1,440 5-minute simple moving average line. And so simply because there's this many 5-minute candles in 5 days. And so when we do this, this is how I got the line on my Leapfrog indicator here. Now when we go across the time frames, we should see this same number here on the right on the y-axis every time. And that is really going to help our analysis, mainly because market cipher down here, the oscillator waves are already enough of an experimental variable. When it comes to my dynamic supports and resistances, such as my moving averages and VWAPs, I want them to be static. I want them to be the same on all time frames. So this is just so important to me to have a fixed simple moving average to work from. Now, the next point that I was making here is the slope really matters. I told you guys, I showed you guys those trades in my VIP where I was able to catch established downtrends. And when you go back in time, you'll notice that the best longs are in these ascending simple moving average periods. For instance, right here, look at the slope of this simple moving average. And when you get a little trigger wave on top of that, that's great. Let me try and find an example of, here's an example over here of candles closing underneath the 5-day simple, which most educators would tell you that that's the bearish signal. They're thinking like a bot. They're thinking binary. They're thinking if you close above, that's bullish. If you close below, that's bearish. But what I'm here to teach you today is that the slope matters more. And so getting a candle close under an ascending 5-day simple is not bearish. It's super bullish. You're getting underpriced Bitcoin in an established 5-day uptrend. And so this is an amazing time to buy, especially with this trigger wave here on the 4-hour. And so don't be fooled by other educators telling you the wrong way to trade the SMA. Price action going under the SMA can be good or bad, depending on the slope of the SMA. And it's not even really good or bad, it's just bullish or bearish. But you want to be mindful when you think of a trade idea. What is the slope of this 5-day simple? Does it have your back? And that's going to help your results greatly. Now, the fourth and final tip is to anticipate data dropping from the set. And so this is the most complicated lesson of the video for sure. To demonstrate it, I'm going to go into my settings and I'm going to enable session breaks. And all this concept is talking about is like we have a 5-day simple here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this day right here, which is the 24th, this day is going to disappear, or is slowly disappearing over the course of today. And so what this is going to do is this is actually going to repair the 5-day simple to the point where by the time today's candle closes and we get a new session, this may be scooped up ever so slightly like that. And we may see the candlesticks, come up just a little bit to kind of compensate for the fact that this data is falling off the set. And this concept is precisely why I love the simple moving average more than an EMA. So an EMA, if anyone knows what an EMA is, it's a simple moving average that weighs the most recent price data more than the previous. And so an EMA would weigh today more than this day, whereas an SMA does not. And so, in my opinion, an EMA is kind of useless, or rather, I would prefer not to use an EMA because it's watering down. When this data falls off the set, with an SMA, that actually has a noticeable effect on the current day's SMA as well as the price action. But with an EMA, this effect is lessened because that old data is simply not weighed as highly as the most recent data. And so this tip number 4, anticipate data dropping from the set. When old data, like an old dump, gets removed from the data set, that can pull the price and the MA up a little bit. Now with an EMA, this effect is going to be lessened. And so since this is such an important aspect of the moving average, I believe that EMAs are kind of they're just not my thing. I would rather use a volume weighted average such as a VWAP or just a simple moving average. And that's going to affect, how you deal with the data, the old data falling off and new data coming in. So that's pretty much it. Like for the 5-day simple, guys, it is a very simple indicator. You do want to keep it simple, stupid. And like going into the next couple of days of price action, this dumpage from back here is falling off the data set of our 5-day simple. So that makes sense that the 5-day simple has flattened out a bit here. So we're in a pretty neutral territory. Judging off these 4-hour market cipher waves, I actually wouldn't be surprised if we came back up here like that. Very in the cards with a sideways 5-day simple like that. Not completely out of the woods yet, big picture wise, but this is the first signs we want to see for the downtrend being undone, is that 5-day simple gets pulled into a flat, more neutral kind of posture for us there. So overall, seeing the things we want to see. And that's pretty much it for this video. I wanted to keep it really short, go over these 4 tips on moving averages. If you have any tips for moving averages, put them in the comments below. If you like the video, drop a like and subscribe. And more videos like this to come in the future, guys. Peace.